outside the Metrodome, and Bill, what a difference a week makes. The energy, the enthusiasm from a lot of the Twins fans has been zapped, I think, by the fact that they're down 3-2 in this series. We saw that a little bit in Atlanta when Pittsburgh went up 3-2. It snuffs out a lot of energy from the fans. And
these people walking around here almost like zombies. They're going to an event that's an everyday event, not a World Series.
Yeah, it's very, very quiet. Inside on the field, there are a lot of recognizable faces. Henry Aaron is down there, and another Hall of Famer, Johnny Bench, number 5, who's doing the broadcast on CBS Network Radio, has been watching Greg Olson very carefully, and he likes what he sees. Johnny Bench has seen a guy not only who's been able to get clutch hits, but also he's so limber, so strong defensively. He stops anything that comes near him. Here's Johnny Bench on the subject of Greg Olson.
The one thing about catching is if you're going to be a catcher, you have to learn to catch the ball. He has the ability to drop down to his knees and just fold up, which most guys cannot do. Yeah. So, I mean, he's got the extra advantage. His first priority was to catch his pitching staff, to block balls in the dirt. He realized that. He knew if he did it, he would stay, at least hang around. And he continued to do it, and all of a sudden the media started talking about, man, this guy really blocks as well as anybody does. Then all of a sudden he finally got some, confidence enough to go up there and learn the pitchers and start to swing the bat. And that just makes a success story.
I guess when you think about catchers, the stereotype is big, thick guys who don't have any limberness whatsoever. And he's like a gymnast. He can do all kinds of things, the way he's able to get loose and do all of that. We've seen some pretty good catching in this series, not only from Olson, but also Brian Harper, because home place has been, as Ferdinand Fisher said, the busiest intersection in town.
Been some collisions there. There's a special artist in town. Actually, she's been in Atlanta, too, as she's following the World Series and doing some special computer artwork. Her name is Joni Carter. I want you to take a look at it.
I taught myself how to paint years ago.
Her studio is the hotel room. Her subject is baseball. Her palette, millions of colors generated by a computer. Joni Carter is an artist of the 90s, traveling from city to city, capturing the big plays for the newspaper Baseball Weekly. She sketches the action from a seat in the stands, then hits the electronic canvas back in the room. It may be computer fast, but the art, the creation, still takes time, about 9 hours.
So it's a very intense project. It really is. I've never tried this before. This is a first for USA Today, and it's a first for me to see if we can accomplish it. And so far, we've made it.
Remember this? Kent Herbeck pulling Ronnie Gant off the bag in Game 2? And this is the composite from that exciting Game 3 in Atlanta. Mark Lemke with the 9th inning triple. In the middle, David Justice's dramatic slide. And at the bottom, the Braves celebrate their first World Series victory.
I like to paint something that's a real turning point or pivotal point in the game.
She likes Steve Avery, tonight's pitcher, and has spent a lot of time painting the lefty. And with the computer, she can make him a right-handed pitcher. And here's another trick. She can make an umpire smaller, something we'd all like to do. She's a perfectionist, wants to get it just right, so sometimes she needs some last-minute help.
And then what I end up doing is I yell at a bellhop and say, get up here and stand there in that pose and let me see what it looks like. I do that all over the country. I've got bellhops everywhere waiting. But
I'm a computer nut, and I like that. That was very interesting.
Good-looking stuff. Looks similar a bit to Leroy Neiman.
And Waylon Moore, the Atlanta artist.
Very similar. When we come back, we'll talk with Brian Hunter. Hunter tonight starting in left field, and he will have his hands full with that tough roof, the Teflon roof, where the ball blends into it. But Hunter says he is all set. You'll hear from him when we come back. And we are here with Brian Hunter. Brian, you're starting in left tonight. Exciting, exciting. Game 6 of the World Series, a chance to bring it home.
Basically, we hope we can bring it home tonight, and all we have to do is just go out there, no miss, no scoring opportunities, just put a rest on Avery's arm.
When I think about clutch hits and I think about clutch players who can decide games with one swing, it's you. Do you relish that? I mean, is that something you really get into?
I do. I like to be the one, like me and Ryan, have a little saying to each other who's going to be the man today. And hopefully when he's playing, I want him to be the man. When I'm out there, I want to be the man. So I just concentrate on just trying to do the best I can. And somebody in the scoring position, I just try to come through with the big hit.
What does it take to have that kind of attitude? Just have to be a tough guy, sort of that Clint Eastwood sort of mentality?
Sort of, you have to have a lot of confidence in your ability, and I do. Sometimes it may come across as being cocky, but I don't think so. It's just, I got a lot of confidence in what I can do.
Is it impossible to come out on this field and treat it like any other game when the stakes are so high?
Well, not really, but that's how we're going to treat it. You know, it's just been like all for like the last month and a half. We've just been playing hard, and that's all you can ask from us, and that's what we're going to do.
This dome, is it too much? I mean, is too much played upon this dome about what it means to the Minnesota Twins?
No, not really. It's just like, you know, at Atlanta, they got their fan support just like we got ours, and it's just if you can keep them from not scoring, you won't hear nothing. You know, if they score, that's when they're going to go crazy. That's when everything happens on the, for the opposing team.
All right, that's Brian Hunter. He's starting in left. We'll come back to tonight's show after this. Brian.
There are two famous baseball poems.
Oh, Bill, what are they?
Casey at the Bat and the story of Minnehaha. Listen and you shall hear.
Long before Ronnie Gant ever picked up a baseball, when the tomahawk chop was just a glimmer in some 19th century fan's eye, these two were the best-known Indians in Minnesota, Hiawatha and Minnehaha, the mythical lovers made famous by poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Just a few miles from downtown Minneapolis, there's a statue honoring the couple. This is the river and the falls that supposedly inspired Longfellow to write the Song of Hiawatha in 1855. I tell you, it's been a long time since my high school poetry classes. I can't tell you how Hiawatha and Minnehaha got here or whatever happened to them. But with all the Indian awareness going on around here this week, we decided to ask some people from Minneapolis to fill us in.
I guess it has something towards Indians.
There are a lot of things named after Indians in this community because they were the first people here, I suppose. I should know that because I work at the Convention of Visitors.
When in doubt, ask a cop. Minneapolis' finest finally set us straight.
What happened is that they were separated and literally ended up what ended up. One was on each side of the river, and they dove into the river and they drowned together.
Thus departed Hiawatha, Hiawatha the beloved, in the glory of the sunset, in the purple mist of evening. Or as Longfellow might say now, it's time to send the twins to the land of the hereafter. In Minneapolis, Randy Travis, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
You know what, Bill? I never realized that really is a baseball poem after all.
Poem. It's all about baseball.
We have enjoyed our time here in Minneapolis. It is a beautiful place, a marvelous place, and it may be the site of the Atlanta Braves' first World Championship. We will know in a few hours. CBS's coverage is next. Steve Avery versus Scott Erickson. For Bill Hartman, I'm Jeff Hollinger. Baseball is next, Game 6 of the World Series. So long, everybody.
This Eyewitness News special brought to you by Saturn. A different kind of company, a different kind of car. By the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the real thing. By your Greater Atlanta Nissan dealer, where customer satisfaction is standard equipment.